Nero, the most disgusting Roman emperor ever, believe it or not, was a monster born not in the shadows, but in the blinding light of imperial power. His story is not just a tale of personal depravity. It is a chronicle of how unchecked authority can corrupt a soul and scar an empire. To understand the monster, we must first look at the world that created him. Rome in the mid-1st century AD was a city of contradictions. It was the glittering heart of a vast empire, a beacon of law, engineering, and culture. Yet beneath this veneer of civilization, it was a cauldron of ambition, paranoia, and brutal politics. The Julio Claudian dynasty, from which Nero sprang, was already stained with blood and intrigue. Emperors were gods one day and corpses the next, their reigns often ending at the point of a Praetorian guard's sword. Nero was born into this viper's nest, the son of Gnaeus Domitius Ahenobarbus, a man known for his cruelty, and Agrippina the Younger, a woman of terrifying ambition. The historian Suetonius records that when congratulated on his son's birth, Nero's father grimly remarked that any child of his and Agrippina would be detestable and a disaster for the public good. It was a chillingly accurate prophecy. When the young Nero ascended to the throne in 54 AD, at the age of 16, the people of Rome breathed a sigh of relief. They believed they were entering a new golden age. His predecessor, Claudius, was old and increasingly erratic. Nero was young, handsome, and an enthusiast of the arts. Guided by his respected tutors, the philosopher Seneca and the Praetorian prefect Burrus, his early reign was marked by moderation and public generosity. People saw a benevolent artist prince, a patron of culture who would lead Rome with wisdom and grace. They saw a symbol of hope minted onto a new series of coins, the aureus, bearing his youthful, idealized portrait. What they failed to see was the serpent coiled beneath the throne, the insatiable ego, and the sinister influence of his mother, Agrippina, who saw her son not as an emperor, but as a puppet. The aureus, a small, gleaming gold coin, became the silent witness to Nero's descent. Initially, it depicted him side by side with his mother, a testament to her power. But as Nero grew, so did his resentment of her control. The first crack in the golden facade appeared when Agrippina began to interfere too openly in matters of state, even threatening to champion Britannicus, Claudius's biological son, as the rightful emperor. Britannicus mysteriously died at a dinner party, foaming at the mouth. While Nero claimed it was an epileptic seizure, the historian Tacitus chillingly recounts the speed with which the poison worked, a clear sign of assassination. The aureus coin soon changed. Agrippina's image was removed. The puppet was beginning to cut his own strings, and he was using a blade sharpened with poison. The public's beloved artist was revealing the cold heart of a killer. Nero's relationship with his mother became a battle of wills, culminating in one of the most infamous acts of matricide in history. He could no longer tolerate her interference in politics. He first tried to poison her, but she had built up an immunity with antidotes. He then engineered a collapsible boat designed to fall apart at sea and drown her. But Agrippina, a strong swimmer, survived and made it to shore. In a panic, Nero abandoned all pretense and sent assassins to finish the job. As they surrounded her, Tacitus writes that she bared her womb and cried, "Strike here!" The very womb that had carried the monster who now sought her death. The artist prince had murdered his own mother. The golden aureus, once a symbol of shared power, was now stained with invisible, indelible blood. The transformation was now complete. The boy who played the lyre was now a tyrant who played with lives. In 64 AD, one of the greatest tragedies to befall the Roman Empire occurred: the Great Fire of Rome. For 6 days, flames devoured the city. People believed their emperor would save them. Instead, as Rome burned to ashes, Nero was rumored to have watched the spectacle from his palace, playing his lyre and singing about the fall of Troy. The historian Cassius Dio claims he secretly sent men to set the fire, a diabolical act of urban renewal to clear space for his opulent new palace, the Domus Aurea, or Golden House. This colossal monument to his own ego, filled with gold, jewels, and a revolving dining room, was built on the ashes of his people's homes. To deflect blame, Nero needed a scapegoat. He found one in a small, misunderstood religious sect, the Christians. He blamed them for the fire and unleashed a wave of persecution, of unimaginable cruelty. Tacitus, no friend to the Christians, was nonetheless horrified, describing how they were covered with the skins of beasts. They were torn by dogs and perished, or were nailed to crosses, or were doomed to the flames and burnt to serve as a nightly illumination when daylight had expired. Nero used human torches to light his garden parties. The emperor, who saw himself as a god on earth, had become a devil in the eyes of his victims. The aureus, now minted with a more portly, decadent image of Nero, was the currency that paid for this suffering, each coin a tiny golden token of his monstrous vanity. His personal life was a theater of depravity. He kicked his pregnant wife, Poppaea Sabina, to death in a fit of rage. Overcome with a bizarre form of regret, he then found a young boy named Sporus, who bore a striking resemblance to her. He had the boy castrated, dressed him in women's clothing, and married him in a public ceremony. A Roman nobleman is reported to have grimly quipped, "It would have been well for mankind had such a wife fallen to the lot of Nero's father." He had turned marriage, family, and life itself into a grotesque parody, all to serve his own twisted desires. The Golden Aureus, once a symbol of Roman order and stability, now represented the complete breakdown of morality at the very heart of the empire. In the end, the empire he had terrorized turned against him. The legions in the provinces revolted, and the Senate, long cowed into submission, declared him a public enemy. Abandoned by all, Nero fled the city. As his enemies closed in, the once mighty emperor could not even find the courage to take his own life. He had his loyal freedman Epaphroditos help him plunge a dagger into his throat. His last words, according to Suetonius, were not a noble reflection on his reign, but a pathetic cry of vanity. Qualis artifex pereo. What an artist dies in me. He saw his life not as a catastrophe of leadership, but as a misunderstood performance. He died not as an emperor, but as a delusional actor on a stage of his own making, a stage he had built with fire and blood. The story of Nero, immortalized not by his art, but by his atrocities, serves as a timeless and terrifying lesson. It reveals how the hunger for adoration, when combined with absolute power, can curdle into a lust for domination. His reign is a monument to the fragility of civilization, a reminder that the institutions we build can be burned to the ground by the ego of a single man. The Golden Aureus, passed from hand to hand, from merchant to soldier, carried the face of a monster, a silent testament to the darkness that can lurk behind a mask of culture and a crown of gold. It teaches us that the greatest threat to any society is not the enemy at the gates, but the tyrant who believes his own applause is more important than the world he sets on fire. It would have been well for mankind had a different fate befallen the child of Agrippina, but history gave us Nero, a mirror reflecting the most disgusting depths of human nature.